Hello, welcome to Tarot Time, and hello to the live people. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late, a few little technology snags, but we're here. And if you're watching this as a video, hang out for a second. I just let the live people get their notifications, but we do a meditation card. We do a 3-card spread for the week, and I've got other divination tools to help us to prepare for this very changeable time that we're in, and to help us to prepare for this big upgrade in consciousness, our human evolution, and our passage into being a more enlightened species. So there's a lot of hiccups along the way. There's a lot of resistances. So we gather every week as a community to just pick up on the trends of the coming week, to maybe give some forecasts about what's going on in your life as well as the world around us, and just to connect so that we can together help make our lives and help make this world a better place. So on that note, Mercury's going retrograde tomorrow. Yay. I'll talk about that in a second, but let me just say my hellos to start. And clear my throat. I've been running around this morning. So are we coffee, tea, or caffeine free on a Sunday morning? I had my tea. Now I'm on water. So hi, Carla and Chris and Suzette and Karen. Welcome. Welcome, Carla, Laura, and who else? We've been having a nice conversation. Hey, Mr. Floyd, RJ's. See you at RJ Spina, his meditation for peace. Be back over after. All right, we'll see you after then. And speaking of which, we're going to do our meditation for peace and for heart coherence on Thanksgiving Day at 1 o'clock. So we're going to send a lot of love into the collective and into the earth, basically. So Karen's born under Mercury retrograde. You feel right at home then. Very good. Water for Suzette, caffeine free for many months now. Good for you. Good for you. Cacao every morning. Cacao's a nice way to start the day too. Yeah, especially if it's unsweetened. And hello, Amy Harris. Hello, beautiful souls. Thanks for being here. All right. So I see there's only 15 on the chat, so we're off to kind of a slow start on a Sunday morning. But as is usually the case, people find us as we go along. But let's talk about a few things. So we have Mercury is stationing now. It's at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. Mercury stations, I mean, people hate Mercury retrograde or whatever. Hi, Jody. Welcome. Well, maybe because of RJ's meditation, maybe. But, people can, thanks, Suki. People know that they can come and watch this as a video later on, so it's not a big deal. A lot of people like to come in live just for the community interaction and stuff like that. But in any event, Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing. Mercury's the planet of movement, the planet of mind. It's air energy. So when it's stationed, it's time to just maybe go back. Not to go backwards, but go more internally, to slow down a little bit, to quiet ourselves, and really just spend a moment or two just appreciating just being here and being, in the present and being now. And once we can get into the heart, then we start to transcend all the stress that's going on around us in the world, basically, and we kind of come back to our spiritual roots just by doing that. So our heart center is really the root of our higher self, or our spiritual self, where spirit can interact with the physical through the principle of compassion and gratitude, and also manifestation and creativity, basically. So at 22 degrees, 22 is a master number. So this is a very important and potent Mercury retrograde that's coming up. That's, it stations for about 3 days before and 3 days after. So it's officially goes retrograde. I don't know the times, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow, the 25th. But it's still it's pretty much standing still for like 72 hours before, or 72 hours, roughly 48 to 72 hours before and after the actual retrograde begins. So it hangs out at 22 degrees. That's the master builder, master relationships, relationships with ourselves. That's where all relationships with anybody else starts, with the relationship with ourselves. We have a good relationship with ourselves. Well, guess what? We tend to foster and attract good relationship with others. If we don't, then it's time to use this Mercury retrograde to go within to clear maybe, or I shouldn't say clear, but maybe to integrate some of the shadow aspects or things that are hanging out in the subconscious that cause us to be not having the best relationships with ourselves. It's just programming, because we're naturally wired to love. So if we're not loving ourselves and loving our world, it's the programming, it's the environment that's hard. The world is hard and everything. So this is an opportunity to step back into what matters, basically. And Sagittarius, it's about travel, communication, growth, expansion. It's very spiritual. So that's what I have to say about this Mercury retrograde. So yes, tomorrow, 21:42 Eastern Standard. So what does that translate to? About 7:42, I think, or I think it works out that way. Thank you, Anna. Yes, always here, in spirit. Thank you very much. And here's the time. Thanks, Karen, for that. Welcome, and let's see. And it popped in and gave us this little gift. It has been crazy. Yeah, it has been crazy. Yeah, always. Yes. And that people, life happens, and that means that not every time that Adam comes on live in YouTube that everybody's going to be available to be here. We get that. And we're all dealing with something, right? Because we're really in a transition towards awakening. And what does that mean? Well, it means that we have to deal with everything in our lives and in our world that's prevented us from being fully awake in the first place, right? It's spirituality, as I often say, quoting J. Krishnamurti and Bruce Lee, it's a matter of daily decrease, not a matter of daily increase. Your spirit already, you can't be more spiritual than you are right now. And if you own the present now, then you own yourself as spirit. It really is that simple. It's just that we're complicated. And this is a time where everything's all going haywire, where the whole 3D matrix is crumbling. This is the time to step back into simplicity. And it starts by stepping back into the heart. It starts by being present in the now, being present in the heart, allowing the heart and the brain to blend. And when the heart and the brain blend in coherence, then we become more coherent with spirit. We start to know who we are. We start to remember who we are, why we're here, and why everything's such a madhouse on planet Earth. And then we start becoming agents of change. As Eldridge Cleaver, one of his famous quotes, the famous Panther Party, activist, if you're not part of the solution, you're destined to be part of the problem. Well, let's be part of the solution. Let's love ourselves first and foremost, develop a good relationship with ourselves so we can develop a better relationship with the world around us, and as a result, become part of the solution. It's about community. It's about loving ourselves, loving one another, coming back to basic values as we embrace the advancement in things like technology and medicine, and the advancement in our own spiritual processes, basically. So sending here, why are we sending prayers and love to Suzette? Is this the reason? My adopted net? Oh, golly. Yeah, sending lots of prayers to Suzette for your adopted nephew. That's so sorry about that. A lot of change. If anybody wants to send some prayers to my brother Tony, it's like I just don't know where to begin with what's been going on with him, with his health and everything, basically. But and everybody else that needs prayers, and Suzette's nephew. And in Kundalini yoga practice, we have a chant to help the souls transition to the spirit world, and it's a call, AKAL or AKAAL, a call or a call. So we can do a little bit of a call for Suzette. Prayers for those that need it, that are hurting, that are suffering, that have been displaced by weather phenomena, by war struggles on the world, you know, it's a transition. Everything's shaking loose, and all the thousands of years of pain and trauma and collective karma that the earth's absorbed is being released as these higher frequencies continue to act on our vibrational fields and the earth vibrational fields. And as a result, a lot of people have a lot of challenges we have to deal with and clear the karma through embracement in order to be free of it, to transcend into our next level. So this lifetime is about personal freedom and about freedom as a collective. But 6,000 years of not being free, that's a lot of energy to move through and to work through. So prayers to Tony, prayers to Suzette, prayers to Manila. What happened in Manila? They had a typhoon, right? But did something else happen in Manila I'm not aware of? Iceland with the new volcanoes. I mean, the list goes on and on. Um, uh, Thank you, Suzette. Yeah, and yeah, so sorry for your loss. Yeah, that's so heartbreaking. Yes. So anyhow, and that's what we do. We support each other. That's what conscious community does. So, other than a little bit about Mercury retrograde, I wrote a few notes. So, this 22 Sagittarius retrograde with Mercury, it really helps to open up to higher mind, to higher realms, and higher reality, and it can enhance things like astral travel, astral dreams and stuff like that. But it's really good for healing the traumas, the past life, the karmic stuff. Really good energy. So for the next 3.5 weeks or so, we're in this energy where we're meant to slow down a little bit in our day-to-day lives and kind of go back into our hearts. It's retrograde, RE, the same prefix as reverse. We go back into our hearts and back into our basic values that, we're here to really love and support each other, basically, right? Oh, okay. So a little bit of insight. So bad fire in a poor area. They had so little in the shacks. That's so sad. Yeah. I have a little bit of a connection with the Philippines because I studied their martial arts for many years, Eskrima or Kali or Arnis, take your pick. It goes by all three names. Um, so I've and I know they had the typhoon also. I think Manila was affected by the typhoon, and yeah, it's going on all around the world. I mean, we could send prayers to my neighbors. Although nobody died in the fires, but here in the Catskills, we had about 8 or 9 separate fires right around my area. Thank goodness for the rain and the snow. We also had power outages and a lot of damage from very heavy wet snow at about 1,500 feet in the Catskills. That's only 500 feet elevation higher up than me. I had about, well, officially 7 inches, but when I woke up in the morning, because the snow happened, it was above freezing for the entire event. So by the time I got up, a lot of it had melted already. So I got 7 inches in Phoenicia, New York. Just a little bit up the hill, got anywhere from 10 to 20 inches. Northwest New Jersey, lot going on with the weather. So we had fires and bad fires in and around New York City. It's been very dry. 49 states or parts of 49 states have been in some level of drought. There's a little bit more rain that's happening now, so there's some alleviation. So yeah, all over the world. All over the world. That's part of it. Yeah, thank you, Amy. I'll flash this comment also. Yeah, martial arts is great. That's what started me on this path. That and receiving the white flash when I was 19, or that's what I call it. There might be another name, but sometimes you have some people have spontaneous awakenings, and in my case, it was a flash of light, and then I just knew everything that I thought was real was a lie, and I had to learn the truth, and that's what I was already into martial arts and starting my spirituality, which is probably what opened me enough to have that experience. But that really got me to really focus on that. So spiritual warriorship. We have to be spiritual warriors. and try to ignore the WAR prefix for that, because that turns some people off. Warriorship in the collective, even though it has the word war, you think about thousands of years, warriors were held in the highest of esteem. They were held in honor, basically, because they were the ones that protected the villages, protected the societies. And it's really, it's about honor. It's about impeccability. I'm trying to think of other definitions with that. But it's really, about, it's really about peace. It's understanding that we need to be impeccable with our words, impeccable with our actions, have honor, be strategists, because we need strategy in the world, and we need to be strong, basically. We need to have honor. So yeah, martial arts is great. For me, it was great. Everybody has their own path, but for me, it was great. So anyway, what else? So Thanksgiving, I mentioned earlier, but a few more people are on now, and people watch this as a video. But at 1 o'clock Eastern time, we get together on Thanksgiving. We'll do some heart brain coherence and send a lot of love and healing to the planet and to the world. So we're in that week. The turkey, we'll see if we pull that from the medicine cards later, is the giveaway animal, the potlatch. So it's about understanding that we give freely of our heart, and then we receive even more blessings from great spirits. So gratitude is just really such an important thing. Just learn to be grateful. That's what heart brain coherence is. Gratitude to frequency. It's an emotion, but it's energy emotion, right? Emotion, it's a frequency. And when we feel grateful, we align with the ultimate giver, God, spirit, the universe, and we create a vibrational match to that which gives everything in our lives. So that's why it's so important. And again, as I often say, probably every Sunday, spirituality is simple, super simple, right? Get present, be grateful. You transcend because you already are spirit. We have to get past all the complexities of day-to-day life to find that core of love and light within, basically. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, so let's do our meditation card. Um, all right, just giving these a good mix today. So I use the Morgan Greer deck, but when I pull the card, if you feel drawn to meditate on that card for the week, you can pull your own from your own tarot deck if you have any, or I will display whatever card we pull in a second. Look at your comments. Humans are complicated. Yes, Laura. Yes, we are. We're programmed that way. All right. Yes. So I have to clear my mind, right? Because as I often say, when we're thinking, we're not connecting, and when we are connecting, we're not thinking. And I went right to the card, so I got it right away. Oh, the wish card. That's a good one. The Nine of Cups. So basically, what I'm seeing in this card right now for a meditation is befriend whatever this figure is, because he or she or it is what's standing right now or between you and the cups that are over his head, that you can see it, but there's something that still needs to be worked through in order to have these cups that represent happiness, good emotions, fulfillment, and stuff like that. And what that is an aspect of ourselves. The figure here is kind of large, so for some of us it may be just things about like indulgences or emotional stuff that holds us back or whatever it is. So this meditation could really be, how am I going to make my wishes fulfilled? What do I need to overcome with that? Very succinct with Mercury retrograde energy also. So the way I say to meditate with cards, with tarot, my system, as it were, get relaxed, get very present, like any other meditation, right? That's the goal, is to get very present. And in my mind, I'll be seeing the card, but it's like a doorway to a different reality. So as I step through that doorway, or that portal, as it were, um, just gauge what you feel. As soon as you step through the portal, just be aware of what you feel in your emotions and body and energetically. And then you start to connect with, or start to blend with, the frequencies of the tarot card. And it's a whole world unto itself. This is just the scene of the doorway or the entrance, but there's so much more going on that we don't see until we go into the card, or we don't feel. So you get there, and maybe you'll connect with guide, maybe you'll connect with God, or source energy, whatever it is, or your spirit animals, whatever it is. And then just ask for guidance, or just be present and see what comes to you. And you can again set the intention. What do I need to do to fulfill these wishes, to reach this area where I'm sitting under the cups, that I am this figure sitting under the cups, basically. So that's a good one. But as a meaning, we in this community, we're in a position where we can start to really work towards fulfilling our dreams. And under Mercury retrograde, it's a good planning time. It's a good time to re-strategize. Anything with the RE prefix works very well under this energy. So anyhow, um, this is interesting. I immediately got the character in the card has a lupus rash. I don't have lupus, but to me, it's overcoming being at peace with physical issues as older people have. Yeah, we're the same age, Carla, too, right? To the year. It's born the same year. So, and that's an interesting take. Yeah. And that does actually look a little bit like a rosacea rash. You're absolutely right about it. Um, but the red cheeks in this card could also be something about fulfillment. But it's interesting. Let's get healthy also. Yeah, thank you, Mary. Thanks for that input also. Yeah. And here's a really nice take. Yes, we are always searching for that 10th cup as part of our ascension, right? So the 9 is the completion, right? It's fulfillment, but that's a good take, that we're still missing that 10th card. So again, what is this? Who is this figure? And how do we get past that to reach that 10th card? So that's a nice way of looking at it also. Very good. Or it's cold outside in the car. That's interesting too. Let me or it's cold outside in the car. Yeah, right. You have a number of weeks, and sorry about that. So I don't know if you missed the little mini prayer circle in the beginning, but healings to MDR also. Um, Yeah, maybe I'm in a bit of a reverse chronology, because I had more problems with my health when I was younger than I do now. I mean, it's different because the body's still age. I mean, with doing heart brain coherence, you actually slow down the aging process of the body. According to Joe Dispenza in research, it's actually possible, or conceptual, that you can reverse some aspects of the aging process. And Thanksgiving, for those of you that don't do the practice, we're going to do a guided process to take you through the heart brain coherence as I do it and I teach it. And this is what I tell my students also, is I'll learn, if there's a practice, I'll learn exactly what the teacher's doing, like when in Rome, do as the Romans. So I'll learn that, but once I understand the concept of it, not just like the steps, or how to do the practice, what do you really have, that feeling, that palpable feeling of what it is, you understand the concept, what it really is, then you can modify based on your own predilections or whatever it is. So I have my own way of doing heart brain coherence, and I think it's very effective for me, and I think it'll be very effective for you also. And I've done it a few other times, so we'll do it again on Thanksgiving as we do our prayers and send a lot of healing to the earth. I haven't talked a lot about the politics. I often start out by talking about news events. Just sit back and enjoy the show, not to be trite about it. People are suffering, and people are very scared and frightened. So we acknowledge that also and send them prayers. But you know what? We'll be okay. For people that are a little bit trepidatious about the next administration coming in, we'll be okay. And to me, it's very interesting, the choices of cabinet. To me, love him or hate him, to me, it's his way of, I feel, of trying to fulfill some of his campaign promises to expose all the corruption in like media or whatever, the world, governments, corporations, or stuff like that. I mean, I know we could debate that very heavily and very passionately. I get that, but as I always said, from before 2016 on, this is an agent of change, whether it's by his own design or own foolery, whatever the reason being. God, spirit, or source put this figure here right now, and it's going to expose a lot. It already has, so it's going to continue. And spirit say it's already exposed. It's just now a matter of the mainstream starting to catch up with it, basically. So anyway, RFK to me is the most intriguing choice. But anyway, let's do our thread now. All right, so the Earth life sucks. Yeah, the Earth, but it's for a reason. Dr. Joe's Rewind series for free. It's on the Gaia channel for another 3 days. If I ever have a little time, that's where I'm gonna go to, because I love Joe Dispenza. So let's see. The Earth life sucks right now. It's hard, yeah. Watch it. What? Yeah. So let's try to reframe that. Maybe from saying that it sucks, maybe change that to it's challenging. I don't know, but anyway, good to hear all that link on my channel and Josh's channel. Yeah. If only I had more free time to post things like that on my channel. But anyways, I'm glad you guys are picking up the slack here till you change what it is. Yeah. My last sentence though. What was your last sentence going back? I think you're saying in this one, and what you gonna do. It is what it is until you change what it is, right? And that starts from within, right? So change how we relate to it, how we define it. Uh and that's what it is, yeah. And then, it becomes easier to start to affect change on the outside, right? So we do our 3 card spread for the week. And then we have all kind of other divination cards to add a little bit of wisdom and insight to Thanksgiving Day week. And here in the States, if you're not American, you can still join in with us in giving thanks, of course. All right, so let me clear my mind for another second. Okay, this one. So we got Wheel of Fortune, always a good card. We got the Emperor reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Change, it's the wheel of change. It's like the emperor, the emperor has no clothes. The emperor's got to come down, right? All that stuff. Gosh, you can start with just about anything. It's like all a big show, and hopefully I don't offend anybody by saying this, but I believe it's truth. I think everything, whether it's the right winged agendas, the current nominee for president, to me it's all show. It's like it's all like actors basically, and that goes to the other side also. It's like who's pulling the strings. That's what I want to know. It's like yes, soon to be President Trump, unless they prevent him from being inaugurated. Lot of drama always, a lot going on. Very polarizing figure and everything. But who wanted him in office? Was it more like things that his team was able to do to kind of manipulate like either the whole voting system or whatever? I mean, personally, I don't believe there's been a legitimate election for a long time. Whatever the case, it's just I think it's just part of, I don't know, the powers that be or divine. But in any event, point being, I want to know who's in charge of who's of the thinking of the people that vote in certain presidents or not, or whatever the case may be. I think you guys have an idea of what we're going with that. But the air puppets, yeah, that's I feel like even he's a puppet to some degree, even though he's appears to be or is an agent of change in another way. Um, so who's the puppet master? That's the thing, and I think, in a way, yeah, there's different ways of looking at that, because in a way, he's really, I believe that he's sincere about wanting to expose what he believes is the corruption in the world. But then again, there's a lot of corruption around him, so it's like, what's going on, right? So anyway, the emperor has no clothes. Yes, so the emperor, this is can represent just the whole hierarchy of rule in the U.S. I think in the next week or two, there's going to be a lot that comes up around Trump. So we may start to hear about possible election fraud or that. I think a lot of the conspiracies like Russiagate and stuff like that, I think it's not necessarily put to bed, but I think there's enough evidence to support that there's at least partially it wasn't real with a lot of things, or either that or it was I don't know what the right word is, distorted basically. And I have a little bit of insight through a client and friend, basically, of what was going on in 2016, and he swears to this day it wasn't Russia, it was Ukraine, and that he had some ties in with the governments and everything. So that's very interesting. I can't prove that. So this is just what I heard from others, but it's interesting. But the thing is, a lot's coming down. A lot is going to come down in the next couple of weeks. And I think the message for us is to really just try to be okay with things. We're going to be okay. God or spirit or source is in charge, and there's forces behind what's going on with the U.S. president and everything that's really trying to expose a lot of stuff so that we can awaken as a collective, so we can reform what's going on in the world to make it more fair for everybody and to reduce suffering and everything like that. So a lot of stuff's going down. To me, it feels like the structure is going down. The whole, like, whether it's the election, the whole polling process comes under fire. I think, like I said, that and this could even be our current president, as well as the new president coming in. I think that lot's going to be exposed, lots coming out. I'm seeing newspapers, so I think there's going to be more evidence of tampering with the press, or the fact that that the media's job is to control the thinking of the masses. That that in the U.S. government, there's what 2 or 3 million employees. By far, by far, they're appointed. They're not elected. They're not chosen by the president or the government. They're appointed. So who's appointing them, and for what reason? It can be traced to the corporates. The corporate feds, if you want to call them that. Those that are basically in charge of the big businesses goes on in the world. And then we have the asset management companies, right? The grand triad of corruption, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right? That are heavily invested in each other, in each other. And this is part of the emperor's clothes. It's like all right there in front of us. It's like in our face, almost like daring us to really question it. But nobody, well, I shouldn't say nobody, we do, but most of the people out there are still asleep and they're not questioning it. But it's right in front of us. The corruption is right in our faces. And like the story goes, the child pointed and said, look, the emperor has no clothes. And what happens? The emperor goes away and cowers with that. So in any event, it's a good analogy. I mean, I know the story is a little bit different because in the story, everybody knew the emperor had no clothes. They just were afraid to say something. In this story, people are blind to the fact that the emperor has no clothes. So yeah, it's a little bit of a different meaning, but I think you get that. I think this is going to be also talking about the economy, and there maybe the Fed will reduce the rate, something like that. I mean, because we have a two-party system that's corrupt, and I've never liked that since I was in high school when I started to become a little more politically aware. I was like, I could see by the time I was in college, I could see that having the two parties means basically nothing gets done because all that's happening is one ideology is fighting the other ideology. So rather than trying to figure out what we agree on, the focus is always on what we disagree on, and nothing gets done basically. So, but this is all like money, I mean, it's not money, it's the Wheel of Fortune. Pentacles is money, power, corruption. These are going to be very much on display, more questioned than they had been, and that's going to lead to a lot of stress also. So during this Mercury retrograde, as much as I love to hide under my pillows, basically for 3.5 weeks, we don't have the luxury of doing that. So we have to stay in our power, stay in our frame, stay in our own lane, help those that can be helped. Don't allow yourself to be drained by those who can't be helped. Be compassionate, send them prayers, basically. I'm going to get to your comments in a second because I want to see what you guys have to say about all this. You're allowed to disagree with me also. This is my take, my opinions, some of it based on what I get from spirit, of course, and what's coming out in the cards. But there may be a little bit of an economic, I don't want to say crash, but issues with that. A lot of stuff coming under question. I'm seeing a lot with stocks and securities. I have to go back and maybe I'll do that today. Lily Nova Starseed. I know a lot of you know her channel. She had a couple of guys on Wednesday. I haven't seen that yet. They were experts in crypto, and that's something lately I've been called to learn about that. And that might be a way of circumventing some of the crashes in society. That might be more, if you know what you're doing anyways. Of course, I have my silver. Thanks to Susan Auld, I have, she actually gifted me the silver also, as well as the Iraqi dinars, or is it Iranian? I have to look at them. But in any event, part of the whole thing that some people believe, I mean, until it happened, I guess it's still a conspiracy theory or a theory, but the idea is if we go more into an Yasara kind of an energy with the economy, what that means in part, other than going into a quantum financial system rather than the current fiat one that we have, or gold or heavy metal. We can listen to heavy metal later, precious metal or gold backed currency. Part of the goal is to make the exchange rates fair. Like right now, and this is who thanks to Jared, who's been traveling around Eastern Europe, the Holy Land, and into India. He's from being there in the country, not just hearsay, but from being there, he said $5 could feed a family for a week here in India. And that's how unfair the exchange rate is. And that's not by accident. That keeps the structure of power and control in place by having that disparity of values of currency, amongst other things. So these are all the things that are going to be looked at over the next months to years, and I think we're going to get a good start. So I think some new stories comes out. I think things penetrate into the mainstream media about the corruption also. So anyway, oh, how was that? Does he watch that the other night? Was that good? I mean, I know it was good. I don't have to ask you. So very good. This now, but it is now, but in the future, unless we do, thank you. And then also MDR, who's always a top contributor. Thank you. There's going to be sorry, didn't mean to do that. There's going to be time where we have to give up these silly alliances to politics or foul energy and start taking. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what we're about here. Yeah. Loudness is bah. I'm lost. I don't know what you're saying, Katie. But glad got some heavier stones if we need to throw, but the hose works the best. I'm missing some of your comments. Oh, this is the one I wanted to see. Rooster in the hen. That's a good analogy. More dominant, the louder he is. The more dominant, the louder he is all day long, proving to self he is it, yet not. As eagles, we can be raised by chickens, nor be chickens. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right, very good. Blast the rooster with the horse. Yes. I'm really not a super political person either, but we want to recognize all this going on the dollar bills. Well, I know Benjamin Franklin's on the 100. that much I know. So he's, I think, one of two non-presidents that are on, non-ex-presidents that are on American currency. Anyway, I have more things to look at into here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be good to do. Yeah, let me see. What am I talking about? This is what I'm talking about. So he was on with Lily Nova on that talk, but couldn't afford his crypto academy. Yeah, but I did a free call. Let's get you at least did a free call to get your feet wet a little bit, and that I recognize pattern again and again, and blatantly obvious enough needed if catch those. Yeah. Exactly. So again, back here, Emperor's clothes is all coming down. It's all part of a process. So for us, well, the this is good because it's growth, expansion. It's the turning of the wheel. So we can look into ways of becoming more fortunate or putting or understanding your plans or stuff like that. So the wheel of fortune, usually good luck happens. So there's a good energy for us with that. The emperor often is about like the ruler, the governments and stuff like that. And then King of Pentacles, again, rulership, it's king, Pentacles is the earth, it's money, it's resources or stuff like that. And I'm talking about that. I think some of the things, and this is a few of the things that make me trepidatious about the Trump administration is there just seems to be little, if any, regard to the environment when things are chosen, or the welfare of people that are less affluent. This is what it appears to me. I'm not saying that it is the case. it's like, in theory, more reliance on domestic oil. Great idea, except when you examine what that entails: more pipelines, more drilling. All that contributes to pollution. And the idea of electric vehicles and all that, great idea. But again, more mining for lithium, more pollution based on creating the batteries and everything, which I suppose, if you look at it succinctly, if you have an electric vehicle, you're not polluting the atmosphere every day that you drive through hydrocarbons and emissions. But in any event, these are all practical things that are going on. And I understand that also that the U.S. authorized the Ukraine to send long-range missiles into Russia. Basically, no World War III. It's not going to happen, but this could obviously increase strife. All orchestrated in my belief system, but increases strife around the world, and kind of puts more focus on what's going on there, and making people more fearful of that, and people hoarding more stuff just in case, all that stuff. So we can't go into that fear. We have to know that it's a transitional period that's leading us to more awakening, basically. And yeah, so you stay in our own power, and just know people are probably going to be a little bit difficult in general, like they haven't been already, right? But I think it's increasing as more and more stuff comes up. So anyway, so I'm a Native American tarot. Yeah, something about paying 4,000 to learn. Yeah, there's other ways to learn. That Carla, there's other ways to learn. Wow, future forecasters, another group one, must pay to fully into the cryptos. Remote viewers from what saw this far seems very accurate. Way back, I don't know when it was. The client um that was asking me about Bitcoins. I never even heard of that because it's so far. He's saying this is going to revolutionize things. I'm going to get in, and it's going to solve all my financial problems. I did the reading for her, and I'm like, no, I'm not seeing that. Later on, it's going to be helpful, and it took about 3 to 4 years after that for the cryptos or the Bitcoins to start to hit, which I think she made a lot of money, so she owes me. But anyway, self-education, exactly, self-education. On more phonies, yeah. I mean, people want to just make money off of anything. It's kind of like law of attraction. I think it's great, but I also recognize that there's people that want to exploit the law of attraction to make money, teaching people law of attraction, basically. And again, we don't berate anybody from earning $1, so we're not negative about that. They have a right to do that, but that said, it's just kind of like, I don't know what the right words are. It's incomplete, for a lot of them, and and the other point being is that you don't have to become a law of attraction guru to make money using law of attraction to make money. Hopefully that makes sense. All good stuff. But the thing is, charging 4,000 to learn about crypto. To me, that's a little bit exploiting the whole thing. So I have a friend who was a coder and wrote for the original WoW before it went public. He was young. I mean, few stock options. Today he'd have. Oh, okay. So, he made a few bucks on. I have a friend who's a deadhead. Also, by the way, we just had an intuition to invest in exactly that XRP Ripple. She invested in that. uh, just based on an intuition. You just said she felt this and she likes the Dead, so she liked she liked Ripple and everything. Her financial advisor said no, she did it anyway, and she made money. She made I guess she invested a fair amount. I think she made a couple $1,000 just on investing in that. Yeah. Oh, so you guys are done with the meditation, are you? And you're here. um, yeah, these are things that I will start to learn more about and start to get on. My guides are telling me, and crypto's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So we're not missing the boat, by the way. But those that get on early on things are the one that benefit the most. That's just the way it is with any business. If you want to start a business and you have a certain industry or something like that, just try to gauge, be progressive in your thinking, like assess, again, this being a spiritual warrior and applying it to money. You can do that. The Gonoshore, I'm pronouncing that wrong. The Book of Five Rings in English, which is which was a book written about Bushido, the samurai class, warriorship, became a Japanese business model in a way. So the idea is you can apply this. Part of warriorship is assessing the playing field, assessing the battlefield, as it were, and then applying the strategy that you're going to win. And a good strategy in business is assess your current playing field, project that into the future, and start doing now what's going to be big in 2 years. That way, when it all comes, you'll be there. You won't be like chasing that wave. You'll be there to catch that wave. So, word to the wise, right? Spirit told me in 2019 to start a YouTube channel. There'd be a need for it to focus on spiritual awakening because there'd be a lot of people awakening. Well, that was 4 years ago, so it's taking a little bit more than 2 years, but that's happening, and the channel's going to grow. It's only just beginning, really, and it's going to grow a lot. And I'm going to have my courses in place, and I'm going to have products that people that are starting to awaken can go to, that are safe, that are authentic, that'll help them. So, find your business model and start doing it now. So that's good. Like I said, I'm going to learn more about that. XRP will be the spiritual backbone for any central banking digital currency. Yeah. And that brings me to Project 2030. I'm going to do a video on that this week. I'm very busy, so I'm pulling back a little bit from my YouTube stuff, but I really want to put that out there because we need to know more about that. We really need to prepare for that agenda. Forget Project 2025. I believe that was those that created it knew that it would never fly. That said, some elements of it will, unfortunately. It's just part of the more conservative mindset. But the extremity of it, or extremeness of it, I should say, I believe they know that wasn't going to happen. To me, the spiritual planning, the word technology in my mind. That's one of my phrases that I learned from my first martial arts teacher. That's what they do. It's the art and science of tricking people, basically. So it's like you put this in front of people's faces, just like it reminds me of 2001. The conspiracy theories, many of them are validatable, and that some of them are facts. That we'll just say it was more than just a terrorist attack. So what do? They put Bin Laden's face on everything to remind people, you have to fear this figure. You have to step in line because this big bad 6'7" monster that rides a camel that lives in the desert on dialysis somehow took 10 years to find him and kill him, which is, again, emperor's clothes thing. Think about it. Going back to 2001 or into the Obama administration, I think it was the Obama administration, like, we killed Osama bin Laden. Meanwhile, when you put the names, um, God, I can't even remember. I need water. You put the name Biden. Yeah, that was the president. and Barack Obama. When you put Obama and Biden together, that's only 2 letters off from Osama bin Laden. Think about that for a second and let that sink in. Obama, Biden, and Obama, I think, is part Middle Eastern too. But anyway, that's beside the point. Obama, Biden, Osama bin Laden. So they put his face up everywhere again as a technology, as a fear tactic. Meanwhile, the worst case scenario was an inside job. The best case scenario of 9/11 was there's pre-knowledge of it and it happened anyway. And they cleared the Fulton Street subway before it happened. I mean, emperor's clothes again. It's also obvious. And once people start to accept that, then it's all going to come out, basically. So somehow that was relevant. But anyway, hi, blindly inspired and everybody. All right, so you guys that came from the meditation or came in late, you know the drill. When we're done, you can catch up on a lot of stuff that we missed. We're already almost an hour into this, so we've been talking a lot. I've been talking a lot. Anyways, spiritualists, 5 of hatchets, which I think is the 5 of swords. It's interesting because spiritualism was not invented. Well, it was invented in the 1800s, but of course these cards were made later on. But that could be really about spirituality. I think one of the messages acknowledging how spiritually bankrupt our society is in a way, and how we have to be the ones, we can't rely on the outside. We have to be the ones to be responsible for our own growth, for our own sense of wealth and well-being. And by doing that, we become a beacon of light that attracts people to us that we can help. And that for some reason, this might be something that resonates with Chris because your name came up. But check out Chris the Volunteer YouTube channel also, with the singing bowls and his daily messages, or the crystal balls and his daily messages. So what else? Oh, I see. There's the shadow people, or the spirits right above him, and that's what spiritualism is. It's really like the practice or religion to some degree behind of spirit communication and healing. A lot of mediums are spiritualists also. So Rothschild was watching the Twin Tower, waiting for the show. So he's, that's why tarot time lasts forever these days. You guys you guys egg me on with this stuff. But thank you for your comment. Absolutely, yeah. All right, so let's see what else. Let's do Moonology cards. So I have those. Lindsay, we're on 11 a.m. every Sunday, unless I have to cancel. Usually 2 Sundays a year I cancel, but usually I'm on. And it's nice. It's nice to be live, right? Because you can interact. Because what you guys are saying is certainly as much a part of tarot time as what I'm doing here. Also, clear my mind. Okay, here we go. So let's see. New moon in Cancer. Well, Cancer is the lunar sign also, right? And you and your loved ones are safe. That's a good message for us. You and your loved ones are safe. No matter what goes on out there, remember your heart, remember your family, remember your community. We can draw on each other. If the shit really hits the fan, we can draw on each other. Big group hugs. We've got this. So I think it's just a reminder. And new moons are new beginnings. It's a rebirth that's happening. The old has to die. The facades on the world we once knew have to burn in the rubble so that the phoenix can rise up out of the ashes and we can become enlightened as a species, basically. This card also, all right. look, full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture. So we'll have a new moon in Sagittarius soon. But anyway, look at the bigger picture. And it's a pink moon also. Pink, it's about love. It's about the heart. Hey, Cancerian. Yeah, my son's a Cancerian also, Josh. We have the medicine cards. So let's do our animal totem. All right. Spider. Did we get spider last time? I know we got spider not that long ago. The life weaver, basically. Yeah, we are all but threads in a giant web of life. I had to. We are but a thread in the web, in the cosmic web, basically. So what are you creating now? Understand that we create everything. The 3D matrix, or the classroom, Maya, whatever you want to call it, it's set up that way. But we start to miss the point, or we start to not understand what law of attraction really is when we get too caught up in, oh, this is happening. I did this. It's my fault. Basically, because again, we're part of a web. We're but a thread in that web. So everybody else is creating their reality through their individual universes, as it were, that affects what we're creating, basically. Then you have something called karma, something energy that you bring into this life. So you've created basically the what's the right word? The framework of your life already before you come in, for you to build the structure around that framework and foundation that's already set when you come in. So you have to be aware of that is part of law of attraction also. It's karma and it's the collective field. So once you understand that, you can do very effective work with that. But understand everything's energy, and the physical universe, it vibrates. It's energy. There's electrons. There's that's energy. Electrons. In reality, the atomic nuclei only make up 1/10000000th or 10 trillionth of physical matter, which basically means we're empty space with electrons flowing through that empty space at massive speed. So we're energy, in other words, but the physical is the densest form of energy that we're aware of. I think there's even denser forms when you go into 1D and 2D, but it's the densest that we're aware of. So it takes time. So we change things on an energetic level, on a frequency level. And we do this day after day after day. Heart-brain coherence is the best practice for law of attraction that I'm aware of, by the way, or something that does the same thing. So we go into the quantum field. We get the in our minds, we set our intentions with all of our senses. So we see it, feel it, touch it, taste it, smell it. If this is happening right now, that's the brain, and the heart is the magnetic aspect of our being. It's the emotion, the feeling. So we feel grateful. Remember what I was saying in the beginning, Thanksgiving. Why do we feel grateful? Because we receive something. What is God, spirit, or source? The ultimate giver. So as soon as you feel grateful, you become more aligned with that which gives everything. So you bring that intention to the quantum field every day through your intention, through your heart-brain connection, and the slow and dense physical world starts to change. But this is what people don't get. We also carry a lot of programming. We're 95% subconscious. We have to clear away that programming that's been creating our reality for this entire life and all other lifetime. All right. Anyway, I hope that makes sense, but that's what Spider's telling me to say. So spider medicine is weaving your own web, creating your own reality. It's the life weaver. So beautiful message. It's also very synonymous with the Wheel of Fortune, which we pulled over here also. Very connected to the energy to this card. So, frequency of the week. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Couldn't resist. Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to even sing it. I don't know if just singing a song violates some weird copyright rule on YouTube. But anyway, that's one of my favorite REM tunes about the infamous incident of Dan Rather. And I believe I heard that on one of their concerts they brought Dan Rather on stage when they sang what's the frequency, Kenneth? Okay, clearing my mind. This way? All right. I'm seeing peaches. Peach pie. Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of peach colored right in the middle. That kind of looks a little like a peach. And the message is allowance. It's the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. So, Spirit is just through this card teaching us a little bit more about law of attraction and how it works, how it really works, basically. And you can get more information just by gazing the middle of this card, absorbing the sacred geometry, and again, allowance. Yeah, we can hold on, right? Yeah, that's another key of law of attraction. If you do perfect work, but you're holding on to the outcome, you're not allowing the energy to move anymore. You're staying stuck in that want and need, which is an illusion of not having. So you have to not do that. When I catch myself doing that, I just go back into present and feel grateful because I already have it, because I know on some level I already do. Because all possible realities, all possible outcomes already exist. 700 subs. You'll be at 1,000 in no time. And once I start to have guests on, and not that I'm the be all and end all. I mean, 15,000 subscribers is still kind of nothing in the YouTube universe. But would you have me on Dawning? I don't know, where did that comment come from? I didn't. Oh, okay, that was just a congratulations. I don't know where that comment is, so I can't. Oh, here it is. All right, and hide it. That'll help to bring more medium channel. I would say medium family, medium channel people. More awareness of your channel and your every morning at Eastern time 10:33 on Mr. Floyd's Universe. Had a beautiful gathering of community and does a lot of spiritual work very intimately. So, guys, check that out. All right, let me talk about that. I've to see, but actually Friday could work because that's my late day for doing readings. So Friday could work. All right, we'll talk about that. But anyway, we did the frequency. I have Kyle Gray with me. This is Divine Masters Oracle. I just have a couple of others we'll do, and then we'll get on with our days. Yeah, Chris, we mentioned Chris's channel also. Millie has a channel. Lakeside Laura has a channel. All good stuff. All part of our extended community. Here we go. Now my card or your card. Rumi. Let's read some Rumi this week also. Mystical knowing, breaking boundaries, personal experience with God. So this is an ascended master and being that gifted us with probably 2,000 or more different poems that all speak on life, nature, and enlightenment. So a very mystical knowing. And once we enter the portal of the heart and clear all the programming, we just know. It's just we know. The brain doesn't know. The heart knows. The brain intellectualizes, but the heart knows, because what does the heart do? The heart feels. And that's where knowing comes from. It's feeling. The intellect, can define the feeling, but the knowledge is the feeling. It's the energy. energy in motion, and feeling gets translated to the human operating system as emotions, right? Which are basically hormones in the body that allow us to kind of have a facsimile of feeling what that energy or would feel like if we didn't have bodies, or that frequency would feel like if we didn't have bodies, kind of like artificial intelligence. So I'm AI is a beautiful thing, but I'm into SI more than AI. What's SI? Spiritual intelligence. Some of you figured that out already. I know, dude. I can read minds. Oh, you're welcome. I'm being funny. Oh, this is a Isis Oracle deck, by the way. This is the next one on the list. Thank you for your comment. All right. Just looking back at your comments for a second. I caught a couple of your Alexas. I like them, but we want to see them more, more drawn to your singing bowls. Absolutely, yeah. That used to be back in the day. I would ask Siri, right? It's and I think the guys that did that program were smoking a joint or something, because I remember when the Santa was like one time said, "Oh Siri, I love you. Can we go on a date?" And then I get the response back, "Oh, I'll bet you say that to all your what was the word? All your virtual assistants." That's what came back. I bet you say that to all your virtual assistants. I have a comment up that I didn't mean to. Okay. So I could just imagine what you get from Alexa. All right. So Isis Oracle deck. This is the card, and the card says abundance of Salthis. I have two cards here. Oh, we got 2 for 1 today. We got Life Restored, Priestess of the Phoenix. Should I could say this is a spider, but it's not a spider, but it's some kind of it looks more like some kind of a dragon energy, right? Or a phoenix energy. Priestess of the Phoenix. Hello. I think I need food. So that's beautiful. And this one, abundance of salties, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. So we got the Wheel of Fortune. Let's work on our abundance this week. Maybe if Josh indulges that, maybe that can come up on a good dawning time, really focusing on abundance. Abundance is more than money, but money is a physical counterpart to spiritual abundance, because we deserve to have abundance. We are abundant beings in an abundant universe. Lack is a programming. There is no lack, including money. There's no lack. It's just there's a lack of ability to receive money, because there's a lot of programming and a lot of rules against that. But there's no lack of money, just like there's no lack of air or water. There's no lack of food, yet over half the world is hungry. Go figure, right? It's I don't mean to make light of it, but we have the resources and the know-how and the land and everything we need to feed this world many times over. And this is part of why global awakening and spiritual awakening is so important. We can reduce anywhere from like 80 to 95% of the suffering on this world just by awakening. We can feed the hungry. We can stop the wars. We have the power to do this. We can even use the techniques of weather modification, not as weaponry, but rather for a positive. Basically, if you believe in that theory, anyways. So right along. Do I have something else? I think that's it. I usually have my an angel deck, but I don't have that with me today. So we can just say a little prayer to the angels. I'm seeing it, I'm doing this by intuition, and I just went right to Archangel Michael, and then right to my right, which is my south. So I think that's our archangel for the week. We are safe. We are powerful. We are protected because we're sons and daughters of great spirit, divine, or God. So our protection is always there. Doesn't mean that we won't come under some challenges where we feel threatened, because not everybody's awake. So, do a lot of prayers to Saint Michael, Archangel Michael, or whatever angelic or spiritual force you feel helps to enhance your levels and layers of safety and protection. Because, spiritual warriors, as keepers of the light and truth and holders of the truth and teachers, there's those that don't want that. So we need that extra level of safety and such. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Thursday, 1 p.m. We're going to do a big old heart brain coherence to really, get that alignment with your heart brain and spirit connection going, and send lots of prayers of gratitude and lots of prayers to the earth. So we do that every Thanksgiving. No Thursday upload on Thanksgiving Thursday. Friday at 8, we've got the all-important December psychic forecast coming up. Then we got new moon coming up in early December. So we got a lot that's going to be going on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's hit the like button, guys. Lately, we've been getting a lot of hits from people that don't know the Medium channel on Tarot Time. That's partly thanks to you guys liking the video, by the way. Always be authentic. If you hated it, don't like it. But I think you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't still be here if that was the case. And I'm sorry, I missed a lot of your comments, but thank you everybody for contributing, and everybody, and love to all of you. Take care.